Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 24. This is our draft to glory with the Kansas City Royals. We just finished our third full season. Took a bit of a step backwards on the field in the majors. 72 and 90. That was actually our worst season so far. But I am encouraged. I feel like we are making some progress, especially from a prospect perspective. We have some players in AAA that will be up next year helping us out. And it's time for the offseason. The offseason for us just consists of arbitration and the Rule 5. We do have a decision to make on Salvador Perez. He is a captain. He is making $13 million. I may as well execute it because we're not going to spend any... we're not going to spend any money on external players. We just need to we need to go through ARB, and we need to try to save a little bit of money. Nicky Lopez wants, Lopez will be gone. Start with MJ, wants 5.6. What would he take for a long-term deal? Wants 10 for, yeah, I would do that. Let's see if he'll take that 4 for 30. If not, we'll offer him a new contract. I am recording, right? I do have audio. Yep. Jose Siri wants 1.4. He's not interested in discussing. Isbell wants 3.2. We can offer him 3. Probably 3.050. Yep. Get to Bobby Witt, who's asking for $15 million. What does he want for like a 7-year deal? $36 million. All right, so let's go ahead and offer him his 15. He will accept that. Massey was really bad, but we may as well re-sign him. He's not interested in discussing. Nick Prado, 2.2, so that'll be a 2.1. 2.6 for Pasquantino, so 2.45. 2.5. Yeah, we're at a bit of a tipping point here, I think, where we really need to have some success on the field this year. So Heasley, we can just withdraw. Yeah, I think we're reaching a tipping point. We need to have some success on the field so that we can start to get some money, because that's going to be an issue here over the next couple of years as players like Bobby Witt start to outgrow arbitration, right? Like we can keep him now because he's just asking, because they're just arbitration numbers. But the minute he goes to free agency, we can't afford him. Like normally Carlos Hernandez is somebody I would trade. But I believe given where we are and given that he's very popular, I think we bring him back. So we could probably offer 9.65. Yep. Save a little bit of money there, bring him back. So we got a couple players that aren't going to come back, which is fine. We will go in and offer all of our minor league free agents contracts. And we're just going to send... I think I got a couple of coaches I have to hire too. Yeah, so Alcantara isn't interested in coming back. We do have to hire a couple coaches, right? That's what I just said. Available personnel. We need a pitching coach at AAA. Again, looking for somebody who's good at development. Trey Delk. Yup. Why am I in commissioner mode? I don't know why I'm in commissioner mode. Let's get myself out of commissioner mode. And then I need a single A pitching coach. Richard Denholm can be our single A pitching coach. Let's go ahead and keep simming. Shut the audio off here so you don't hear my computer. All right, so Denholm, that works. Hopefully we get some... Our fan interest is in the crapper at the moment. We get fan interest for MJ Melendez. He signed the extension. Bobby Witt, which is nice. So that takes us up to a 47 This is going to be tough. When I was thinking about signing or taking over this team, I didn't take into account fan interest and that sort of thing, and I guess I probably should have. So we get a bump for Hernandez, takes us to a 48. Yeah, because we can't really do anything, right? We can't do anything to impact our fan interest out other than bring in players in Rule 5 that are popular. So we need to have some success on the field in order to... Oh, Nick Pratto won the Gold Glove at first. Nice. We need to have some success on the field in order to increase that fan interest, which in turn gets us more money. Hayden Junger finished third in the reliever of the year. Platinum stick. I don't think we had anybody. We did not. Rookie of the year is next. Yep, rookie of the year in the AL. Jason Dominguez. Seth Lonsway finished fourth. Manager of the year won't be us. Rocco Baldelli. Cy Young. Look at that. Lonsway finishes 6th in the Cy Young. Good for him. Good for him. A Rule 5 guy. And the MVP goes to Vlad. We didn't have anybody in the race. We'll get up to arbitration. See if we save some money there. Oh, okay. So you're going to take a job with the Cubs. Good for you. All right. So now we need a new hitting coach. Is it AAA? Did we not get our guy? I don't think we got our guy. Alvin Alcantara. Will he take the AAA pitching coach job? And then hitting. Travis Dinker. He has no interest in being our hitting coach. There we go. Chris Ellison. All right, now let's get to arbitration. Chicago White Sox mourn the passing of Jerry Reinsdorf. So we get Alcantara, we get Ellison. Let's see what happens in arbitration. We won against Massey, we won against Singer, and we won against Siri. All right, well, that's cool. Saves us a little bit of cash, not that we need it for anything right now. International free agents. Let's look at all the wonderful players that we won't be able to sign. Or not. And nothing there. All right, Rule 5. No, we have to... I didn't do this. We got to find ourselves some international free agents. Not inviting the guy who's asking for $3.2 million. Not a lot of great talent in this one. Just going to invite a handful of players here. We just get to next month. Salvador Perez, he'll be gone next year. We're going to take a fan interest bump when we lose him, but that's okay. Let's get to next month. Get back into scouting, international, run the practice again. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't have high work ethic, ground ball pitcher, great stamina, doesn't have a fastball, curveball, changeup, sinker. I guess technically the sinker is a fastball, but you know what I mean. We'll get up to the Rule 5. Then we will sim to international amateurs. Then I will step aside, sim up to opening day. We'll come back, we'll set the roster, and then we'll start simming. All right, I don't care about the winter meetings. We can't do anything at the winter meetings. I don't know what I'm looking for in the Rule 5. I think popular players, so Kurdna has to go on the 40-man. Sarantola has to go on the 40-man. Cross has to go on the 40-man. Looks like Sandlin's had a bit of a bump here lately. Mendez has to go on the 40-man. Zini has to go on the 40-man. Guzman has to go on. We're going to have to take some people off the 40-man. Interesting. Diaz, Hurt, Hernandez, Eaton, Bradley are all going to get DFA'd. Guzman will go on the 40-man. Chaz Martinez will go on the 40-man. And I think that will be that. Let's get into the Rule 5. We're picking 7th. What do we have for popularity? Do we have that listed here? It's not where I wanted to go. Let's go back. Let's go here. Let's go customize, national and local popularity. So Thomas Zapuki is extremely popular. That would be helpful for us. Cody Poteet, also extremely popular locally. Why? He's from San Diego. Bauman. I think we take Bauman. Yep. Not even going to think about it. We're just going to take Mike Bauman. Yep. We get the fan interest bump there. Gets us up to a 50. Let's get back into the rule. Let's get back into the Rule 5. And I think we're going to do it again with another pitcher here. Zapuki. Tanner Houck. Cameron Wagoner, he actually looks pretty good. And he's only out for a week. But we'll take Wagoner. No fan interest bump there. Let's go to our next pick again. And I'm just gonna do it. Might not be the best way of fan interest is amazing. So we go from a 49 to a 59, drafting or just taking on those players there. So that works. Auto pick. No extremely popular hitters. Callahan. Do we need anything offensively? I don't think we do. Yeah, I think we're okay offensively, and I know we're okay from a pitching perspective. We have 15 players there. Any one of these guys can go to the minors, and we can keep Wagner, Zapuki, and Bauman up. I also haven't put Kurdna, Sarantola on the big league roster yet, so we will have to make some decisions, but maybe we can trade some players for, in fact, I think we just, they're already on the 40-man, so it doesn't make any sense not to. Little is going to start in AAA. He'll probably be up next season. I think that's it for the Rule 5. We go from a 49 to a 59 from a fan interest perspective. Maybe I take Poteet as well. Balazovic. Let's take Balazovic too. Zimmerman, Bruce Zimmerman. I think we're going to take Zimmerman. He's out for 6 to 7 months. We literally can just stick him on the 60-day DL and then just not deal with it until later in the season, which is fine. So Zimmerman. Cool. So I cheesed it a little bit, but sometimes you do what you got to do to bump that fan interest. It's now up to a 68. It's gone up almost 20 points since the Rule 5 started. Might be, like I said, a bit of a cheese way to go about it, but It's something that, we need to make sure we have a little bit of money. So let's go ahead now and sim to next month. All those players in AAA. Just gotta get to next month so I can run training again for those international guys. It's not what I wanted to do. Run practice. That's what I wanted to do. All right, now let's get up to international amateurs. Let's get up to international amateurs. Thank you. Trade proposal. As much as I would like to discuss it, I cannot. Nope. International signings. We're almost there, and we're there. Okay. Hall of Fame voting? Nobody makes it. Interesting. International now. Do we just go after Consuegra? Consuegra. His nickname is The Interesting. I feel like they just open up the dictionary and take like 2 words out of the dictionary and jam them together and go, yeah, this works. Got Jesus Morales. It's passable in the outfield. He also wants $3 million. I think we go after Consuegra. Wants one. My international complex is full. Okay, well, we'll have to do something about that. Anybody who is 20 and a 20 overall will get the boot. All right, Consuegra wants 1.7. Let's offer him 4.5. Let's see what happens there. Okay, better offer from Miami. Let's just offer him the full 5.7. Do we get him? Don't know yet. We did? Okay, so we got Luis Consuegra. 6'1", 175-pound lefty. Ground baller, 65 stamina. We'll see. I don't know if the changeup's going to develop, but we will see. Let's get to preseason. See how much he raised our budget from 132 to 140, but dropped scouting and dropped player development. That's not good. Revenue per game is still at 45. Yeah, that's not good. Salaries next season goes up another 12 million. We're without Singer and Bubic. We may try to trade them for cash come the deadline. But I'm going to go ahead now, guys, and sim up to the start of the season. We'll set the rosters, and we will get Season 4 underway. I will be right back. All right, guys, we're back, and it's time to set our roster for the regular season. Had some development, some good. Eslahiber Mendez continues to get better. Chaz Martinez continues to get better. Kurdna continues to get a tad better. Will Klein continues to get better. Joswiak, Hernandez both get worse. Zarantola's stamina gets a little worse, but he'll still penciled in as a starter. Carter Jensen will play every day. Diego Guzman continues to get better. Witt's ratings are dropping a tad, which is a little concerning, but Maltman gets worse, which isn't terrific either, but all right. So we have 38 players. We have 20 pitchers. We have to send 6 to the minor leagues. We will send Martinez down. We will send Battenfield down. We will send Mendez down because they're not ready yet. So we still have to send 3 more down. And I don't want it to be, I guess it doesn't really matter. I can't imagine any of these guys are going to be taken. Oh, right. These are all Rule 5 guys. We can't send them down. That's right. Silly me. Hernandez. I was hoping one of them would get hurt. Send 3 pitchers down still. Zerpa. Extremely popular. Wagner's the best of the bunch. But, yeah, I think that's what we have to do. And then we got to send 1 more down to the minors. Start with, I mean, it probably makes more sense to start with Junger, even though he was as good as he was last year. All right, so there is our 13-man pitching staff. I think Bubic comes out of the rotation, and we're going to go with this: Singer, Sarantola, or Singer, Lonsway, Sarantola, Kurdna, and Kowar. So let's go ahead and bump up their pitch counts. What does this want to do from a bullpen perspective? Will Klein as a closer. Yep, I think that makes the most sense. Hernandez, Bauman is set up. Ferrer used more often. Lane Hernandez, Zapucci, Bubic, and Joswiak. And we'll put him in as a middle reliever unless his splits are absurd, which they're not. So he's fine there. So we now have 31. We got to send 5 batters to the minors, I think. So we will send Fermin and Tresh, since Tresh was god-awful last year. We will send Dungan. And we will send Darryl Collins. And we will send Diego Guzman down to AA. And I think that's enough, right? I think that's 26. Yep. So let's set our lineups. So Bobby Witt will be our number 3 hitter. Carter Jensen. Stick Jensen in the 4-hole. I think we're going to stick Jensen in the 4-hole at DH. Or in the 2-hole, because he's got that 60. Yeah, I think we put him in the 2-hole. Put Melendez in the 4-hole. Our leadoff hitter will still be Isbell. Prado at first. That leaves Pasquantino out. Do we start? I think we just start Carter Jensen at catcher. Salvador Perez, Pasquantino at DH. Oh, wait. Right. So we need a center fielder, which is Siri, and then we need a second baseman. So Siri will come in center. Second baseman is Mikhail Garcia. And then our shortstop, I guess, is Nick Lofton. Ugh, that's not good. We need some bad infield defense. Nope, Sal Perez is our backup catcher. He'll come in every, 4th game, and he'll be that defensive. So not that he's much better. I mean, he's a 50 as well. And then copy this lineup against lefties. Make some changes here against lefties, though. Salvador Perez will start against left-handers. Gentry. 50, 50, 55, 55, 60. Okay, Gentry's a better hitter against lefties, so I think we go with Gentry at DH. Have him backing up at first base every 3rd game. We'll do that with Pasquantino, I think. Yep. All right. Well, there is our opening day roster for year 4. The hope is that we can show a little bit of improvement. We got that huge fan interest bump from the Rule 5. Hopefully we don't lose all of that during the regular season. But now the plan is for me to sim ahead up to draft day. We'll come back, we'll do the draft. So, guys, I will be back again for you. It will be right now. All right, we're back. It is draft day. You can see we are 42 and 47. Thankfully, the rest of the American League Central is awful. We are only half a game out of first place right now. I'm surprised at how bad our pitching has been. It might have something to do with the catching situation. Like, Jensen's hitting, but he's not a particularly good catcher. We need a better fielding catcher in the majors. Yeah, frame rate's negative. But we don't really have anybody close. Like, Guzman is our closest, and do we still have him in rookie ball? Where is Guzman? Oh, he's right there. He's in high A ball. Yeah, so he's still a bit away. But even he's not elite, so we need to figure something out. At any rate, from a pitching perspective, you look at our pitching stats. Jackson Kowar, Ben Kurdna lead us in WAR. Sarantola's had a decent season, 100 strikeouts in 80 innings. Some FIPs lower than some ERAs, which tells me we're not playing well defensively. Yeah, we're hanging in there. I mean, we're half a game out of first place because the rest of the division's terrible. But yeah, pretty much every pitcher on our roster, their FIP is lower, with the exception of, I think, 2, 3. Excuse me. Yeah, so I have to hope that regression to the mean means in the second half our pitching staff will pick it up. Offensively, Bobby Witt's averaged down to 251. Not ideal. He's still on pace for another 4-win season. Hopefully that keeps the long-term extension price down. 9 years, $231 million. We still have another year, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. But next year we may just sign it and just be done with it. Carter Jensen is hitting just like we thought he would. Nick Prado's having a nice bounce-back season. MJ Melendez having another good year. Pasquantino having a bounce-back season. We picked up Terrell Tatum off of waivers from the White Sox to play center field for us against righties, and he's been awful. But we don't really have another option because Jose Siri has also been awful. So our center field and our shortstop situations are not currently good, but there's not a whole heck of a lot we can do about it. Yeah, we don't really have a center fielder or a shortstop who is within a year or two of the team. So we have to hope for some TCR out of some of the players that we have. But yeah, we got like nothing. We got nothing. We're going to have to take some of those high fielding shortstops and hope that they develop here over the next couple of years. Yeah, it's not great. Not great. But anyway, it's draft time. So let's get to the draft. And maybe we do draft based off of position. Who knows? All right, so what do we got at the 6th pick? Let's go to the next pick. John Ackerland. We said we needed a center fielder. High work ethic. He's pretty damn elite. I don't love the eye and discipline, but still pretty damn good. Jamie Baracco looks good. High work ethic. Right fielder. Dusty Hinton, not really a center fielder. George Wolko. Did he get drafted previously and not signed? Yeah, back in 2023. That's not a bad option. Wait, I saw a 21-year-old center fielder. Chris Genti? That might be the way we go. You know, I hate to draft based off of need, but we need a center fielder. Ooh, do we go Jared Myers instead? I kind of like Myers. That is an elite leadoff hitter. Outfield range is good enough. I think we're going Jared Last Resort Myers. But let's take a look and see if there's anybody else. Yeah, there are a couple of really good outfielders in this one. Eric Batanti. Let's go to pitchers. I'm kind of leaning this way. Oh. I mean, do we have the $10 million to spend? We have 9. Signability is hard. Oh my gosh. Or do we go after someone like Chase McCovery? I think maybe we go after McCovery and then see which of those center fielders is there with our next pick. He only wants slot. Yeah, we're going to take Chase McCovery. Oh, this is an unbelievable draft. Dylan Quaystad, 21-year-old, 6'1", 195 pounds. Oh, I kind of like Quaystad more. He wants slot, which is fine. Holy... Oh, that's right. We are picking 6, so there is that. I have to think that Ackerland, Ginty, or Myers, one of them will still be there. I hope it's Myers. But I can't imagine that one of these pitchers would still be there. We're going to take Dylan Quaystad. Let's get to our next pick and keep our fingers crossed. And none of them are there. Damn. Schneider's not really a center fielder. Kind of having buyer's remorse. I mean, Quaystad's really, really good, so I'm not upset about that pick per se. But that would have been nice to get that center fielder. Where did he go? Right there. He went 15 to the Guardians. Okay. Jeff Gray went 6th to the Nationals. Just can't afford him. All right. Shraden Carney. I mean, taking him now is early, but we need a catcher. I think we wait and see if he's there in the 3rd round. Aiden Miller looks like a really good bat. Only wants 490. I think we'll go with Aiden Miller. Looking for that shortstop who's got the high infield range, but we're not seeing anybody. Rowiak doesn't look terrible. I think I'm going to make the pick of Miller and then come back and hope that that catcher is still there. Shraden Carney, the 65 ability, 70 arm. And, of course, he's not. Damn. Where did he go? to the Phillies. All right. I don't hate our first 2 picks at all. Excuse me. Oh, pardon me. Let's go back to pitchers. Yeah, I don't hate either of our first 2 picks, but it would have been nice to get the players that we were looking at in addition to. Dan Peterman doesn't look bad. He wants over slot, which we can technically afford. Prince Lucky. That's a name, man. It's a good name. His nickname is Rats. Who do they think we should take? They think we should take Batanti. And I tend to agree. I mean, he's a first baseman, maybe a backup third baseman, but he's got some pop in the bat. What does Batanti want? Just wants slot. Okay. We'll take Eric Batanti. Oh, he only wants 75K. That's interesting. All right, let's go to fielding ratings. Juan Barba looks okay. I mean, he looks great as a shortstop. I was just looking to see if maybe there was a high work ethic guy who was just as good, but nope. What about center fielders? Chris Escobar, high work ethic, 70 outfield range. Yep, I think we need to do this in this draft. We need to grab some players who have these elite defensive abilities and hope that there's some development there. Here's another one. We need to take Johnny Notchel. He's 18. He's got high work ethic, 70 catcher ability. We just have to hope that there's development there. He's got the knuckleball, but I can't take him. I know it's going to disappoint some of you, but his personality is awful. Can't do it. Can't do it. Andres Cargill. Fly ball pitcher. Cooper Dossett, not in this world. I usually like taking Dossett, but... Looking for high work ethic guys. Andy Hernandez, no. Philpott, no. Looks pretty much maxed out as he is. Not a great draft. It looked great initially, but I forgot I was picking 6th. So used to picking at the bottom of the draft that you're not used to having all those great names to choose from. Eddie McMullen, 18 years old, high work ethic, sure. Let's go back to batters. My mouse keeps dying on me. Chris Robles, catcher with high work ethic, but he's bad defensively. We're already into sort of the scrap heap here. It's not encouraging. Low work ethic out of Jake Brown. I mean, he's got decent ratings, but the low work ethic is not ideal. J.C. Vanek, high work ethic. Yeah, we'll take Vanek, I guess. He's not much of a two-way player, but at least has some ability. Walt Paulson. Ground ball pitcher. Potentially really good movement. High work ethic. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm really not impressed with this draft beyond the first couple of rounds, which is disappointing. Pick John Cahill, I guess. Take Greg Madden, too. You got this guy who has 55 catcher ability, 65 infield range. He's got the high work ethic, so why not? What about arm? We got any elite third baseman? Damian Nero. Sure. Yeah, I have not been impressed with... There's Alan Chu. We took him in our Cubs playthrough, and he just never developed. But he has the knuckleball. What about circle change? Let's go to pitchers. Jewers, no. And I forgot to mention that next week, we'll take Steve Burke. Next week, there probably won't be any videos. I'm going to be traveling, doing some baseball games. So unless I've got time after I get home from the game, like in my hotel room or something, I don't know that I will have time to record. We will see how it goes, though. If I can, I will, but I don't want to make any promises. Take Christopher Morales, I suppose, but we will see. Games will be over. I mean, I won't be back at the hotel until 11 or 12 most nights, so we will see. But like I said, if I'm feeling up to it when I get home, I will do it. Ugh. Mike Abraham, high work ethic. I'm looking for high work ethic guys that have at least a couple of ratings in the yellow and green. So Jaden Bastain, we can take him. We'll take Connors. We'll take Lumsden. My mouse just died on me. I gotta get a new mouse, guys. And we have 2 rounds left. That's the guy I just looked at, yeah. What do we got here? Jackson McKenzie? Sure. He never develops, so I hate taking him, but we'll take him here. I saw Jordan Medellin. No. Grayson Taylor, sure. Why not? And that is our draft. All right. So I didn't get the players I wanted, but I am not unhappy with the players we got. I guess I should just leave it there. I think I would have preferred. The problem is if I don't take Quaystad in the first, I don't have that elite pitcher sitting there waiting for me, right? We just don't. And I just don't feel like you can ever have enough pitching. I think you can win in out of the park baseball with pitching and defense, but you can't win in out of the park baseball if you don't have pitching and defense, if that makes sense. So I just felt like this was the way to go. Pick up Aiden Miller, who's probably only a year or two away. Again, he's probably he can play left field. He can play left field with the range, so he's probably a year or two away. Same with Batanti. We'll probably play him at third, see how it goes. Barba, we start getting into the defense with Barba and Escobar. So all in all, I am pleased with the draft. Let me know what you think. Should I have gone the other way? Should I have gone with the center fielder first and then come back and maybe try to get a lesser pitcher in the second round? I'm curious. But if he truly develops, unlike our first round pick last season, which is where he has cooled off, Murphy Brooks, he doesn't look terrible anymore. Like, he doesn't look terrible, but the ratings have potential, like his potential control dipped. Yeah. So he doesn't look as good as he did last year, but had a nice bump in 2025. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, you can win, like I said, you can win with pitching and defense. You can't win without pitching and defense. So that's the way I'm gonna go about it. We may rush Adonis Guzman to the major leagues next season. In fact, let's call him up to Double A now and just see how it goes. And so we've got Diego Guzman, who's likely to be our starting second baseman in the next year or two. So that position is not in terrible shape. But I'm going to go ahead now and sim to the end of the season. And next time we come back, it'll be time for the recap. So once again, I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, we are back, excuse me, at the end of the regular season. And it was our worst regular season to date. 71 and 91. Things sort of fell apart after August. 8 and 19 in September. Good in May. We were average in July and August, but all the wheels fell off in September. Finished with our worst record since we got started. Our fan interest is at a 51. I believe we were at a 49 when the season started last season. So we're in good shape there, but, you know, comes the fall kind of thing. I mean, these players, Zapucci, Bauman, those are players that are incredibly popular, and we may have to cut them going forward. So that's going to be an issue. The other issue that I see is we don't have a shortstop anywhere in our system who's ready. We got a couple of players in rookie ball, but that's about it. We may end up having to rush someone like Barba just to get a glove in there at shortstop. Next year, our pitching staff's going to look different. We're going to have Sliber Mendez and Augusto Mendieta in the bullpen, as well as Christian Little in the rotation. We may also have Dylan Questad in the rotation as he got better after we picked him up. He actually picked up the adaptability trait, which is really good, and he was dominant in Double A. So let's look at the team real quick, and then we'll look at the prospects. So pitching-wise, you know, the only names that we're really concerned about here are Kerdna, Sarantola, Lonsway maybe, and maybe Will Klein. Everybody else is eminently replaceable. Sarantola had a decent year, 174 strikeouts and 142 innings. I think he might be more of a reliever. He capped at a 45. Went about 5 innings a start, but gave us a 116 ERA plus. Kerdna, 10 and 10. Is essentially league average, you know, but again, I talked about him initially, right? If this is your number 5 starter, you're in good shape, and that's kind of what we're aiming towards next season. Carlos Hernandez had another decent season. I don't know that he's going to be worth the $13 million or whatever that we're going to have to pay him next season, so that might be somebody we try to trade and sell and make some money. As good as Lonsway was last year, that's how bad he was this year. Pitched basically the same number of innings, gave up 60 more hits, 52 more runs, walked less, struck out less. His whip was almost half a number larger, dropped from 152 ER plus down to 66. But again, I still feel like there's something there. That's really about it. I mean, Ferrer was good again out of the bullpen. Junger was good again out of the bullpen. Bauman wasn't good, and hopefully he can just go to the minor leagues next season. Will Klein, his first year as a closer, was fine, 36 saves. Offensively, Bobby Witt with another great season. Vinny Pasquantino until the last week of the season was actually leading the American League in hitting. Hit 309 for the year. I'll take it. Carter Jensen with a really solid year. I would love to have him as a DH. He's currently our starting catcher, but I would love to have him as a DH. MJ Melendez with another good season, another 30 home run year out of him. Nick Pratto hit almost 30 home runs, and then the bad. It got really bad beyond these five. Isbell regressed. Garcia was terrible. Tatum was terrible. Perez was terrible. Gentry was terrible. Yeah, so we're not deep offensively. We got a couple players. We can kind of take a look at the minor leagues. We talked about Mendez, Mendieta, Little. Fermin maybe comes up next season as the backup catcher, or maybe even the starter that allows Jensen with his 50 rating to slot into a DH/backup role. Guzman's not ready yet. Can't wait for him to be ready. He's not ready yet, though. Adonis Guzman probably starts in AAA next season. He may end up on the big team sooner rather than later. And we had some good development from some of our young players. Charles, I don't know why he's rated as high as he is. Probably because he's very good defensively. He's not much of a two-way player, but he hit pretty well in A-ball before we called him up. Brooks was our top pick last season. Was 7-7 on the year, but made 26 starts. I'm optimistic. He probably starts in AA next season. Jackson McKenzie was our 19th round pick, and he's already in high A-ball where he put up an 864 OPS. We hope to see some growth there. In A-ball, Miller's rating spiked. Aiden Miller was our second round pick, and you can see everything went up here, so that's nice to see. Madugno we called up, and he put up about an 845 OPS between his two starts. Looking forward to seeing what we get out of him. Called up Antonio Anderson. He might, again, he's a second baseman. He's listed as a shortstop. We don't really have any shortstops in our system. We called up Cameron Johnson finally just because we had to. I need to see that changeup develop. If it can turn into a 45 pitch, we have ourselves another starter, but that's still questionable. George Lombard, again, not a shortstop. So, yeah, we're lacking a shortstop. I think our catching situation gets better next season with Fermin and Guzman, and then we can use Jensen as our DH. Center field is still an issue. We've got Escobar, who's still a couple of years away, but I think we just run with the combination that we ran with this year, which was Siri and Tatum, and hope that there's somebody on the waiver wire. And maybe I can get lucky with a waiver wire pickup at short. We'll keep an eye on that as well. So that's going to do it, guys. Yeah, more of the same next episode. We'll start with the rule. We'll start with arbitration, and we'll jump to the Rule 5, and we will move on from there. So that's gonna do it. Our worst season yet, but again, we have the top minor league minor league system in the game. We have 2 of the top 10. We've got 5 in the top 50. So there's some reason for optimism. We're just not quite there yet. Hopefully next year with the influx of our 3 new pitchers, Mendez, Mendieta, and Little, potentially Questad as well, who probably could go, but I want to see what the development looks like over the course of the season. Hopefully our pitching staff is better next season, and then we can start focusing on the offense with some of these young players who are still a couple of years away, but close. So that's going to do it, guys. As always, thanks so much for the support. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.